Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 73 of Be With Me. And we are going to talk today about why do bad things happen to good people. And I'm going to change the question a little bit, as I often do. And I'm going to ask it in a time sense. When do bad things happen to good people, or bad things happen to bad people? And this is all, the thoughts today started because of John the Baptist. Jesus is in Judea down south, and he moves up north. And the reason he moves up north is because of a time thing that happens, and that is that John the Baptist, a really good guy, gets arrested by an evil man. In fact, Matthew 11:11 says that among those born of women, there has arisen no one greater than John the Baptist. That is, he's the best of the best. He is the Olympic gold medalist in greatness and goodness on the earth. And apparently it's of all time. So he might have tied with the gold medal with Moses or somebody similar, but no one was better than him. He holds the world record in people goodness. But then Matthew 11 also says, yet the one who is least in the kingdom of heaven, so this is in a different time, if you will, if you advance the clock a little bit, the least person in that kingdom is greater than John the Baptist. So this is sort of a way to be better than the gold medalist person. Well, the thing that struck me today, it's in all the Gospels. Every one of them mentions Luke, Mark, and Matthew. They all mention that John the Baptist was arrested by Herod. So the reason he was arrested is Luke chapter 3, verse 19 talks about John that says that he reproved Herod for all the evil things that Herod had done, and then added to them all that he locked up John the Baptist. So one of the evil things that Herod does is lock up John the Baptist. So we're going to compare and contrast the evilness of Herod and the goodness of John the Baptist, and then hopefully the heaven part of it. All right, so we have this great evil that is done against the greatest guy on the planet. And Jesus says about him, out of his own mouth, that he sort of describes what it means to be born of women. He says that John the Baptist, of the people born in women, there's been no one greater. So let's talk about evil for a second. We have evil that is done against us, and John the Baptist is a good example of that. There's this evil that's done against him. He shouldn't have been arrested. He was arrested. He shouldn't have been beheaded. He was beheaded. And there's evil that is done against him. Welcome to the world, Mr. John the Baptist. And then there's evil done by us. And Herod is the good example of that, where he foists this evil on John the Baptist. He does this evil thing and marries his brother's wife. He is influenced by Salome. So he's a good example of being a really bad example. But then there's this uncomfortable thing about the evil that is done by us and done to us, that we are people in fallen bodies. We are people with fallen hearts. We're people that get depression and have bipolar, and fallen bodies that get diabetes, and we have these fallen souls. And then we live in this world. I was thinking this week I saw someone partially drown for about 5 seconds. So the difficulty living on our planet. So we have a good example in Jesus on how to suffer, but I don't want to get into that. What I want to do is I want to point the direction towards the one who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than John the Baptist, is better than the best of the best. And so I want to separate the time between this kingdom and that kingdom and do some thinking about that. So there's this next kingdom, and the rules are the same. Good is still good and bad is still bad. But the reign is different. That is that God is sort of sovereign here, but almost with a hands-off approach, or evil is not punished and good is not perfectly rewarded on this planet, but it will be. The reign is going to be different then. So evil will be known, there still will be good, there still will be bad, but it will be perfectly and justly judged against, if you will. There will be special powers there that we don't see as much currently. All right, so back to my question. My original question is, when do bad things happen to good people? And now is a pretty good answer to that question. John the Baptist being a good example of that. All right, so do good things happen to bad people? So I was thinking about the common graces. So even Herod, this terribly evil person, he probably still had the benefit of family. He probably got together, went on vacation with his family, had a good time, and then went back to his evilness in his job. So he probably had the blessings of a mother that loved him, and maybe a brother that cared for him, or a wife that loved him, or something like that. The rain still fell on his crops. So good things can actually happen to bad people in this world. But let's turn the dial forward a little bit. Will bad things happen to bad people in the next kingdom? The answer is for sure, because another kingdom is coming, and there justice will be perfect. So justice is getting exactly what you deserve. He's going to get that. Remember that mercy is getting less than you deserve, and grace is sort of getting more than what you deserve. So here's my final question: is do bad things happen to good people in the next kingdom? The answer is no, in a sense, because there's no good people. I love going to church and I love being in church because it's full of graced people. It's full of people under mercy. There are no righteous people in the physical church today. They're all under grace and mercy. So the way we get to be better than John the Baptist is that we have to get out of this mess and get a membership in the next kingdom. And that's why Jesus comes. So my point is, let's follow him. Let's join this next kingdom. Let's be a people of graced people. Let's be a people under mercy, because you and I both agree that it is sort of an evil world, populated by evil people. But that's not how it's always going to be. There won't be any bad things happening to good people in the next kingdom. I thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.